We can save this jewel for later and then share my screen. So what I wanted to talk about today, so I know that, first of all, Kayla, thank you so much for posting how you were feeling on the team page, because I feel like a lot of people were feeling the same way, but maybe were hesitant to say something. So I think it was really refreshing to have you post, sometimes it's not butterflies and roses. Sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it's you get in a funk and you get frustrated and you get discouraged. So I was really glad that you did that. And so I kind of shifted the focus of my call to kind of talk about that, because I felt like it was when I saw that other people were like, yes, me too. I was like, okay, good. This is something we can chat about. So please know, whenever you're having those kind of moments or you have questions, don't feel like you can only you don't have a place or an outlet to let that go. Like, we're all in this together. And if you're feeling something, there is a 99.9% chance that somebody else is feeling it too. So it's better to figure it out than to just kind of get frustrated and be like, meh, whatever, I'm over it. So glad. So thank you, Kaylin. I'm so glad that you're on the call. All right, so let's get this party sorted. So we're going to talk about how to actually gain traction in your business so that you can actually feel like, okay, I'm going somewhere, I'm doing something, and I'm moving forward. Because I know sometimes it's frustrating, like we talked about. But the key is that you've got to actually take steps to know that you're moving forward. You can't expect it to happen overnight. Like I put in the picture this morning, nobody is going to do it for you, unfortunately, but sometimes you get stuck in your own way. Maybe you're trying something a certain way, or you're posting something a certain way, and it's not working, and you feel like you're beating your head against the wall, or you're inviting a certain way and you're not getting the response that you want. You've got to be willing to kind of shift and change and figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? Where should I go from here? So that's what we're going to go over. And please stop me if you have questions along the way. Everybody good? Hear and see okay? Okay. All right. So step numero uno, you have to make a decision. So like I said in the post this morning, do I think that everybody can be a great Beachbody coach? No. And I know that that's like something we don't say. It's super faux pas because we're like, everybody can be a coach. It's awesome, which is true, because can anybody be an amazing coach? Absolutely. But it's not for everybody, because you do have to put in work. You do have to try. You do have to be consistent, and you do have to be willing to make a decision that this is what you want, and you want to do what it's going to take to get there. And sometimes that's a tough decision, but if you are riding that line and you're not sure about that decision, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle with inviting. You're going to struggle to post consistently. You're going to struggle in one-on-one conversations, because you, at like your core, are not going to feel 100% confident in the direction that you're going. So before you do anything, you have to make a decision. Am I going to be a strong coach or not? Now, this is whether you are building a hobby business or you are like shooting for the moon, watch out Melanie Mitro, I'm coming for your number one spot. Same mindset. You just do it on a different scale. The time you put in might be different, but the consistency is the same. The decision is the same. The desire to do well is the same. All of those traits do not change whether you are trying to do this as a hobby or you are trying to make this a career. So either way, I want you to just make that decision. Do I want to do this or not? And you have to go at that decision 1000%, or nothing else that you do will work, because the first time that you hit turbulence, or the first time that life gets busy, you're going to stop. I feel like Amanda is a beautiful example of, if she had not decided that coaching is going to become an income for my family, coaching is something I'm going to be successful at, what better excuse than I just busted out a baby a week ago than to just stop? Like, nobody is going to look at her and be like, yeah, she shouldn't have quit. They're going to be like, oh, totally understandable. She just had a baby. She's busy. She's tired. But she made a decision. So those things don't stop her. And that's how sure you have to be in your decision, that when you hit those turbulent times, or those times when life is crazy busy or work is really busy, you have to keep going. Even if it's on a smaller scale, you have to keep pushing. So hopefully you've all made this decision to want to keep going, but maybe if you feel like you've been teetering, let this be something that makes you really draw that line in the sand and not go back from it. So some people that I wanted to bring up. So these are some famous entrepreneurs. I'm sure that you've seen this before, but sometimes when I'm feeling sorry for myself, I look this stuff up because I feel like we are so quick to just call it quits, and we're so quick to just call what we've been doing a failure because somebody told us no, or I put out a post and not very many people liked it, or I've been posting and it's just not working, and I've been consistent for like a week and nothing's happening. We just don't put in and invest the time that maybe we should. Because if you look at these huge entrepreneurs, they've all had these huge failures. And if they had quit the first time that they had turbulence, or even the second, third, 10th time they had turbulence, they would be a nobody that we've never heard of. You know, Steve Jobs started this company and then got fired from his own company. He could have easily faded into the abyss and just never been heard of again. But now he's a household name. Everybody knows who he is because he made a decision to become something. He made a decision to let that build him up and make him stronger versus pull him down. Henry Ford, I listened to this call on Henry Ford and his entrepreneur kind of journey the other day, and it was really amazing. He had this team of engineers and he poured money and money and money into building this car that they said could not be built. And it literally took 2 years. They came back, they still hadn't built the car. He put more money into it, more time into it, and just refused to hear no. Didn't matter how many people were close to him that told him he couldn't do it. He just refused to hear it. And now, you know, of course, he's got this huge legacy. He made billions upon billions upon billions, but it was all because he made a decision to do so. So you just have to be that unwavering. Oprah, of course, we know she's like diva among diva. Walt Disney, they fired him, told him he didn't have an imagination. Clearly that was wrong. But the point is, you're going to run into obstacles, and more importantly, you're going to run into people that are going to doubt you. And sometimes those people are super close to you. Sometimes it's your spouse, sometimes it's your sisters or your really close friends. People are going to doubt you because people don't like change, and people tend to just not noticeably, they don't mean to, but they immediately come out on the defense and say, what is that? That's dumb. It's different. I don't think you can really make money. You're going to be selling shakes. Like, really, what are you doing? So people, that's just a natural knee-jerk reaction. And it may be because they're unhappy in their own life, and maybe because that's their weird way of trying to protect you. But you're going to run into those things, and you have to be really strong in what your decision is. Or when you reach that, you're going to be like, yeah, maybe you're right. Like, I don't want them to think I'm stupid, so I'm just going to like stop. So you have to be that confident in what you're doing. To other people, Colonel Sanders, I had no idea he was 56 years old when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's amazing to me, that who at 56 years old tries to start a business, and he got rejected over 1,000 times. So unless you've been told no 1,000 times about joining a challenge group, you, my friends, must keep going. You have to hit 1,000 no's before you can say it's not for you. All right, so step 2, once you've made your decision, you've got to set goals. So a lot of times I feel like when I start talking to my team and they're not really sure where to go, they're kind of at this funky place in their business, I say, okay, what was your goal for this month? And they don't have one. So if you don't have a goal to reach, you're going to struggle because you're not going to be disappointed when you don't hit it because it was never there. And you're not pushing for anything, so you have no motivation. You've got no kind of push behind you. So you have to set goals, no matter how small, no matter how big, it doesn't matter. Weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly, and then your long-term. What is your why, your vision? Remember that why video that you posted in your Coach Bootcamp, your vision board if you've made it. What's your long-term reason? And then back it back up to my weekly goal is to make sure that I get 3 posts a day up on social media. It can be super minute, but you have to set it so that you can achieve it and you can have those small successes along the way. If you look too far down the path and you don't have a way to get there, you're going to flounder. And then that's another reason for you to just kind of slowly back out of it, or slowly just say, I don't think it's for me. So you've got to set goals. If you need help setting goals, use your upline, use your team. We are all here. And post in Team VIP and say, hey, these are my goals for this week. Does anybody else have goals? Let's hold each other accountable. It can be that simple, but sometimes you just need to get it out in the universe so that you are held accountable to someone other than yourself, because it's easy to disappoint yourself. Nobody will know anything if you don't do it. Personal development. This is the second thing I ask my coaches when I get on the call. If we're struggling, I say, okay, great. What are you doing for your personal development? And they say, I know I should be doing something, but they don't. And so you have to dive into personal development. And I tell my coaches this too. I was so too cool for school for personal development when I first started, because it was like, okay. But once I read my first book, I was like, oh, my mind was so closed before. And this really, it doesn't matter if you read, if you do podcasts. I know we talk about personal development like we are a broken record, but that is because it works. So if you feel like you're stalled out in your business, if you're frustrated in your business, if you've heard the fifth no for the day, stop what you're doing, go listen to personal development for 10 minutes, and then reset. Because honestly, that's all it takes. I press play on my little podcast, and I'm like, yes, I am indeed a miracle worker. I will indeed make $1 million. Thank you. On with my day. It just gets you back in your groove instead of headed down your little self-sabotaging spiral. So make that a priority. It doesn't matter how much a day. And then use your team VIP resources. We have so much that we have created from you guys. If you're not on the Google Drive or you don't know where it is, please ask. If you don't know where stuff is and you can't find it, please ask, because there is a 99% chance it has already been created and you can reuse it. There's challenge group templates, there's free group templates, there is conversation examples, there's how to overcome objections in several different ways, there's how to use PicMonkey, there's PicMonkey templates, everything that you need, meal plans, recipes, grocery lists, everything that you can just take and use. But you have to actually look for it, and you have to actually search for it, find it, and turn around and use it. So if you're looking for something, again, call your upline, message your team members, or just post on Team VIP Facebook and say, hey, do we have this somewhere? And we will make sure to direct you to it. But you have to use it. We don't always know what you need. And so I want to just shove everything in your face, but that doesn't work either. So you've got to just let us know what you need and make sure that you use it. And then success partner or partners. If you do not have one of these, look into my eyes. You must find one. It is so imperative that you get somebody who hopefully is around the same place in your business that you are, but it doesn't really matter. You just need somebody who has the same goals as you. Not necessarily like, I want to be 15-star diamond, so I need to find somebody else who wants to be 15-star diamond. Sure, that would be nice, but if you just need to have somebody who has also made that decision that this is happening. And that way you guys can connect on that level, and you can push each other, and you can be there for each other when you have those days that are frustrating. Sometimes it's just funny and laughable to like message your success partner and be like, I've gotten told no 10 times in a row and I just thought you should know. It's just like a funny ha-ha. Or you just need to bounce an idea. Hey, I've got this invite picture idea. What do you think? It good, bad, or ugly. And someone you can be honest with, somebody who's going to push you, somebody who will say, hey, I haven't seen you post on social media in like a day. Did you fall off of the earth? That person who's going to help you. And it's just that camaraderie. The buddy system works. It works in fitness. That's why these challenge groups are so powerful. And it works in business. That's why people that stay together and push each other rise to the top faster. So if you do not have a success partner and you want one, please comment underneath, comment on Team VIP after this, and we will hook you up, or reach out to your upline and say, hey, I want a success partner, and we will try to match you. I've been doing some matchmaking this week on some of our teams. So if some of you have already been coach dated, I like to call it, but I try to look for similar personalities, similar kind of motivations, so that you can find somebody to work with and really push each other. Because really it comes down to mind over matter. You have made the decision, step one. This is going to happen for me. This is going to happen for my family, and I'm going to be successful. You don't say anything else because there is no other option. Step two is just mind over matter, making it happen. Last week, Laura talked about making Success Club a priority and a non-negotiable. That's just a mind over matter. That's either you're going to make it happen or you're not. It is that black and white. I know that sometimes we get bogged down and we get in our own way. Well, I tried, and well, this happened, and then there was like this raccoon, and then there was this tornado. Like, no, Either you're going to make it happen or you're not. Like there is no in between, and you have to be that matter of fact with it, or it's not going to happen. There is going to be little raccoons and little tornadoes. You have to make that decision, and then know that you've got a whole team of people willing to push you to get there. So moving right along, step 3, building your brand. So we've chatted about this a little bit, so I don't want to harp on it too much because I don't want to be a broken record. But things that you can look at. So if you feel stagnant in your business, or if you feel like, man, I'm getting a lot of objections, or whatever your case might be, wherever your issue might be in your business, I'm not motivated, I'm not spending the time on my business that I know that I should. Sometimes I hear from my coaches, it's not that I don't have time, I do, it's just that I'm not really doing it. Sometimes that's what I hear. And sometimes that's because when you get to a stall point, you don't know which direction to go. And you get paralyzed by not having an idea of how to move forward. Or you think there's so much I'm not doing, you get paralyzed by your to-do list, and so you just freeze. So look at these things and start here. And then you can always work your way out of it. If you're doing step 1 and step 2, and you build to step 3, and that's where you're in your funk, you're going to get out of it. Your business is going to move forward. You will gain traction 100%. So looking at the building your brand on step 3, social media. If you're not consistent with social media, you cannot build trust and value. End of story. Even if you have to kind of play with your social media, maybe what you're posting, oh, that didn't work, I'm going to try this, or oh, those times didn't work, I'm going to try this. Cool. Play around with it to figure out where your engagement is best and what you feel most positive about. But if you're not consistent with it, it will not work. You can't post 2 pictures a week about what you had for breakfast and be like, why don't people want to join my challenge group? It's the weirdest thing. You've got to, who are you? Who are you as a coach, and what are you offering the people that you're asking to join your team and that you're asking to join your challenge groups? They have to have that story, because it's a social media company. It's a network marketing company, in the sense that people are only seeing who you are as a person, as a coach, as a leader, through the story that you tell on social media. And that can be through a blog, a video, you're posting, but you have to put it out there. Nobody knows what you're doing at home being a rock star. So you've got to have it out there for the world to see, because then they're seeing this person is super consistent. This person is always talking about this, or they're always talking about this. So when they want to come into a challenge group, or when you invite them to a challenge group, they're already ready, because they already have this concept of you. They already have this idea of who you are, and they can't wait to be a part of it. So when you're looking at your social media and you're thinking, man, I'm getting a ton of no's on my invites, look at your social media and say, is this somebody that I would want to follow? Raquel put this in something in one of our posts this week on Team VIP, and it's so true. And it kind of makes you cringe, because you look back at your social media and you're like, I don't know if I would want to follow me. I'm a little bit annoying, whatever it might be. But look at yourself and be honest with yourself and say, am I somebody that's adding value to someone else's life? And of course you can say that, because that gives you the unwavering confidence to know, I am the best coach for this person. Whether they're coming onto your team as a new coach and you're going to be their business mentor, or they're coming onto your team and they want to lose weight and be part of a challenge group, I am 100% confident that I am going to be the best coach. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that I will be the very best coach for people, because I am passionate about getting people results. I want to help people, and I know I will make it happen. If I don't have the answer, I'll find it. So you have to be that confident, or it's going to be hard to get people to jump on board your train. Who are you? Play into your strengths and be genuine. People can tell when it's fake. We've talked about that before, so I don't want to go too far into it. But play with your strengths. If you're somebody who's really natural with nutrition and you love creating fabulous, beautiful dishes, post about it. You should really hone in on those good recipes, fast and easy recipes. If you're a mom and you like to make recipes that are 5 ingredients or less and take less than 30 minutes to cook, that's who you're going to become known for. And people are going to seek out your page to look for those sort of things. So it doesn't matter what you're good at or what you feel best at. If you're good at videos, post videos. Jenny Bobo is a video master. She posts videos all week long. That's her strength. Go on with your bad self. If you're great at doing motivational, redoing taking a great picture and making it nice and motivational, repost that. If you're good at making people laugh, make people laugh, but do something that is natural to you and genuine to you, because it will make that value and that trust really go up that much more. Fourth, vital behavior. This is something we haven't talked a ton about, but something that's so important. You want to be recognizing other people through your social media outlets, and that starts as soon as you become a coach. So whether you signed up your first challenger, or you signed up your first coach, or your first challenger had great results, great transformation, you need to be posting about it. When you're first new, steal somebody else's challenger. Steal somebody else's teammate. Steal a coach's transformation. It doesn't matter. Hey, this is a fellow coach on my team. Look at our rockstar transformation. Can't wait to get my challenge group started. Boom. You just want to be recognizing and talking about people that are other than yourself, because it shows that you're putting value into other people, and it shows that you're caring about other people, and that you're super passionate about it, which these things are true, but if you're not putting it out into the world, nobody knows that. And then nobody sees that side of your business. They don't see that, man, this person keeps advancing in rank. I don't know who they are, but somebody on our team is killing it. That makes them see more value and more trust in you. Man, she has all these people are getting these awesome transformations. I need to plug in. Or doing yourself. Every transformation that you get, you need to be talking about it. And it doesn't always have to be physical. Do those non-scale victories. Every week you could talk about the same exact transformation and do it in a different way. This week I'm talking about pant sizes. Next week I'm talking about bikinis. Next week I'm talking about how many pounds I lost. Same transformation, 50 ways to say it. Because each way is going to tell a different story, and it's going to reach a different person. But recognition, recognition, recognition. Transformations, how your team is doing. It doesn't matter. My team, my coach just helped her first person jump into our challenge group. So proud of her. Rah, rah. It helps that person. It helps you. It's a win-win all around. So put more positive out there. You will get more positive back. And then fail, reflect, and try again. So if you look at your social media, or you look at kind of the success in your business, and you're struggling and you're like, I don't know why people don't want to do it. Look and think, why did I start? What did my coach do that made me excited? What convinced me to spend the money? Because we get money objections all the time. What got me rolling? What made me say, you know what? This is for me. I want to do this. It's worth the investment. I cannot wait. Do that, and then rework what you're doing to try to speak to those things. I know we were just talking about on the call before this with some of our new coaches. We were talking about the Find Your Happy group. And the first post that I posted for Find Your Happy was like crickets. Like, one of those posts where you like check your phone, like, did I post it? Because I don't see anybody liking it. It must have been a bad time, or I don't know what happened. It was such a good post. And so at that point, sometimes you would want to be like, you know what, clearly it's just not going to work. I'm going to throw in the towel. We're just going to call that a bad idea and be done with it. But instead I was like, okay, I'm going to try it a different way. I made a video about it, posted the video about it, and then all of a sudden people are excited and wanted to jump on board. So sometimes you just have to go at it a different angle or a different way, and not just say, okay, I failed. We're done here. I tried it once. It didn't work. You've got to be willing to try things several different times in several different ways. Okay. I feel like I'm doing all the talking. Okay, step 4. I promise we're almost done. So objections and failures. This is where we probably get the most stuck. So we're like, okay, all those things sound gravy, but people still tell me no, and I don't like it, and I feel like I'm not meant to be a coach because people tell me no. People are going to tell you no, but if you really honestly, in your heart of hearts, do step 1, 2, and 3, you are going to get a lot less no's. You're still going to get them because that's just what it is what it is. People are going to say no. Not everybody's going to say yes to you. It's not the chocolate factory. However, step 1, step 2, and step 3, if you are honestly doing them, you are going to get a lot less no's. Step 4, you've got to move that even further. Manifesting positivity in your business is so important. So Raquel has been a manifesting freak show, and she's been like, manifest, manifest, manifest. But I'm telling you, it really does work. So I'm going to make her do a call on manifesting and how to actually do it. I'm not kidding you. The other day, Raquel and I were in our office, silent, manifesting music. We had sticky notes on the wall with what we wanted to happen in our business, and we were manifesting. Not kidding. And it really does work. And if you've read or listen to You Are a Badass. She talks about it all the time in her book. You have to put out into the universe what you want, and you have to speak about it in present tense, and you have to put it out there that it's happening, because it's just like that step one. It's a decision, and you will attract it to you. If you put it out there, that positivity is going to be attracted to you. If you notice when you're in a funk in your business, how negative have you been leading up to that funk? So negative. Even if it's not intentional, you're probably just super down on yourself, like, oh, nobody likes my post, and ugh, my boyfriend said Beachbody's stupid, and ugh, I ate 12 cakes today. You're just in a funk. But if you snap out of it, listen to some personal development, get your little manifesting hat on, and put some positive out into the universe, it's going to come right back to you. And it happens that fast, truly. But you have to do it. And then realize that it's going to take time. Not everybody's ready when you are. When you invite them, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're ready. But if you stay positive about it, you keep the conversation positive, you keep your energy towards that person positive, you will get them back eventually. Whether they come back 6 months from now, they come back a week from now, a year from now, you're going to be who they think of. So just know, it doesn't matter how many people you reach out to if you're worried they're going to say no. Even if they say no, you planted a seed. I shall see you later. And that's all. You walk away. You leave it positive, plant your little seed, and away you go. And then reflect inward. Like I talked about, when you are having a frustrating time in your business, the first thing you have to do is own it. Don't blame it. Don't start with your excuse train. Just say, self, what is really happening? Where are we really at in the scheme of things? And what can I do to fix it? Am I being consistent? Am I doing personal development? Have I reached up to my upline? Do I have my success partner pushing me? You've got to look inward, and you've got to own it so that you can turn around and fix it. Okay, some sales stats. So these are just super quick. This is just a side note on your objections, because I don't want to go too far in. By the way, I will show you guys, I'll share the link tomorrow on some objections, our objection documents, so that you can go through and see the scripts verbiage. If they say this, you say this. If they say this, you say this, just so you have it. But I didn't want to spend too much time on the call chatting about it. So some sales stats, I'll let you read that, but basic concept is, not many people are going to purchase the first time that you chat with them. It really does take 5 or more follow-ups before someone is ready to purchase. And those 5 follow-ups may happen over several months or several weeks. But if you don't do them, they won't happen. So don't feel like you're bothering people. You're just trying to change your life, gosh darn it. And they're going to tell you if you're bothering them. They're going to say, listen, I appreciate what you're doing, but no. You know what I mean? So don't feel like, oh, I don't want to like upset them. Like, don't apologize for trying to put something in their life that truly is going to change it. Like, you know how good you feel after becoming a coach, after going through a challenge group, after changing your lifestyle. Like, you know how it's positively impacted you. Why would you not want that for someone else? And why would you not be willing to bother someone 12 times to get them to do it, because it's that much of a life change? So think of it that way, instead of, what if they don't like me? Who cares? I'm trying to change your life. You get on board. That's all I'll say about that. Okay, so here's some things, top objections that I get asked from my coaches. Talk less and ask more. When you don't know what to say, ask a question, always. I just don't know if I have the money. Okay, I totally understand. I can save you a spot in my next challenge group. Do you think that June works best for you to get plugged in? Ask a question. I think I'm too busy. How much time do you think you can commit to trying to get to a healthier lifestyle? I know you want to get off high blood pressure medication. I know you want XYZ. How much time do you think you can commit to that? Because if you're not willing to put in 30 minutes a day, let's be real. Everybody's got 30 minutes a day. They just have to be willing to find it. They've got to be willing to find that value. But sometimes you just have to put it in that question, because it's so easy to say, I'm so busy. How many times do you ask somebody, hey girl, how you doing? How's life? Oh, so busy. Everybody is so busy. But people are busy because they make themselves busy. And they're going to fit into their little busy life what they want to fit in and what they're willing to fit in. And so just know, if people are too busy, they're not really too busy. They just don't see the value in what they want to do. Same thing when they don't have money. Most people will be able to figure out how to make the investment, even if it takes them a couple of weeks that they have to reserve a spot for the next group. they're going to be willing to figure out how to make the money, because $140, how many times do you blow $140 doing something silly? You bought tickets to something you didn't need. You went to a Target. You did, how often do you spend that kind of money unnecessarily when you can really convince somebody and get somebody on board? Like, investing $140 to change your life dramatically, that is peanuts. That is nothing. And honestly, you will save money once you start eating cleaner and you stop taking those trips out to eat and stop taking those trips to, get a Starbucks drink or this, that, or the other. So if money is something that you constantly hear, you need to be talking about it on your social media. So that's the other thing. Talk about these things on your social media. Post about the objections on your page, and not saying, I get these objections about blah, blah, blah. But you say it in a positive way, saying, before I started my first challenge group, I kept saying I was so busy, I was this, I was that, I was this. And now I realize 30 minutes a day has completely changed my life. I wish I would have started sooner, whatever. Always talk about how it's impacted your life, what you thought, how it's changed you, the positivity it's brought to you, because that's what's going to speak to people, because they're going to see themselves reflected in you. And they're going to say, oh my gosh, that's me. Maybe this girl can help me, or maybe this guy can help me. So think about that sense. You should constantly be posting subtly about these objections. Talk about the money. Talk about Shakeology. I've made posts before where you roll through Panera and you try to get healthy lunch and it's like $12. You have Shakeology and it's like $4. So, talking about those things, I used to think that Shakeology was so expensive. And then I realized I'm paying $4 for an all natural, nutrient dense meal, when you can't get that, even if you go somewhere and try to get something that's healthy, and you really can't get anything healthy when it's from a restaurant. But even if you try, you're paying 3-4 times that. But sometimes you just have to put that information in people's eyes for it to register. And then when people talk about using other products, I feel like sometimes we immediately feel like, oh, I don't know what to say. Oh, they talked about Plexus, or they talked about Advocare. It's easy to panic on that because you don't want to talk negative about another product ever. You always just think, why did I choose Beachbody? Why did you choose Beachbody over any of the other options? Because it works for you, because it's all natural, because it combines nutrition, because it combines fitness. It's an all-encompassing program, because I'm able to empower people through challenge groups. The millions of reasons that you personally have, how it's personally helped you, use that. So talk about your personal experience and ask them questions. Don't let yourself freeze and get paralyzed on objections, because sometimes that's what happens. And that's where you really get struggled, is you just freeze and you assume, oh, they said they don't have money, we're done here. Or sometimes they'll say it's expensive, and so you assume that means they don't have money. Saying something's expensive and not having money are two very different things. It's just like, are they willing to pay that money, But if you go into Walmart and you get a pair of jeans, you're going to expect to pay $20. If you go into Express and get a pair of jeans, you're going to expect to pay $200, because you see that perceived value. Is it better quality? Who really knows? But they have to see that value in order to make that investment. So if it's money, then that's when you trail back to, what am I showing on my social media to build value in this product? Because if you've built all this value through your social media about the power of Shakeology, what it's done for you, the recognition of your challengers and your team, when you talk about it, people have already seen all that. They're like, man, this is awesome. So you don't have that money objection, because you've already built all that value through the consistency in your social media page. So that's why all the steps really do go all together. Because if you start at the end and you just start with inviting and you don't have step 1, 2, and 3 backed up, you're going to run into those objections all the time, and you're going to be frozen because you don't have anywhere to go. You don't have value to sit back on. You don't have this social media that you've been doing consistently and consistently and consistently. So think about that too. It takes all 4 for you to have that well-rounded business where it's moving at that traction pace and it's moving forward constantly. I hope that kind of makes sense. So bottom line, your choice. You can give up or get busy. You can find an excuse or you can find a way. You can be Oprah or you can be average. And I don't mean that to sound harsh in the slightest, and I hope it doesn't come across that way. But you just, going all the way back to number one, you have to decide. You have to make a decision that you're in it or you're not. Because if you are wavering, and this is about any decision, not just coaching, of course coaching, because that's what we're talking about, but this is anything that you want to do. Think about when you first did your very first challenge group. You have to make a decision that I'm going to go through the 21 days and I'm going to give it my all. Because if not, every time you ran across a slice of pizza, there it would go. If you hadn't made the decision that I'm going to go through these 21 days because I want to see what I am truly capable of. I am going to give all I can to coaching because I want to see what I am truly capable of. But you have to make that decision to do so, or you're going to find so many reasons to say no. Okay. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully you have some questions. If you do, please share now or forever hold your peace. I apologize that I'm 8 minutes over time. I will stop the share so I can see your faces.
Can I ask a random question that just came to mind?
Of course.
It's not related to what you were just talking about, what you talked about was great though. Caffeine and Shakeology. How do you answer that question?
What do you mean?
Someone was asking like how much caffeine is in it, and I have a hard time explaining how much is in there. Because I know there's bits of caffeine, but I don't actually know the amount. So it came to my mind and I'm like, I don't know how to answer this question for this person.
So in one serving of Shakeology, it's the same amount of coffee that would be less, or a little bit less, that would be in a cup of coffee. Is that right, Raquel? But it's still coming from an all-natural source, but it's less than what you would be consuming, like if you took normal coffee.
Okay. Cool, that's it for now.
It's also a green tea extract. That's how I explain it too. So it's like an all-natural green tea extract that's less than a cup. Exactly.
Okay. Sorry for the sidebar.
No, that's good.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say too. It's caffeine from green tea extract. So you don't like plummet from it. You know, sometimes when you have like a cup of coffee and you're like, yeah, and then you crash. You don't get that crash from Shakeology. And it is, I think a cup of coffee has anywhere from like 90 to 100 milligrams. And if I'm not mistaken, I need to look this up, but I feel like it's less than half of like a cup of coffee.
Okay.
But I'll double check on the milligrams. But yeah, green tea extract.
I have a question in regards to your comments about like asking people, 5 to 12 times before, they sign up. I have had a girl that I have been contacting for months, I've probably contacted her at least 5 times at this point, and she's never responded back. And I've contacted her through Facebook. I've contacted her through Instagram. But like I said, she's never responded back. But she keeps liking all of my stuff, whether it's workout, food, recipe. Like, she just keeps liking everything. And I'm like, how do I change what I'm saying to her to, like, get her to respond back?
So have you asked her, hey, girl, just checking in to see if you received my last message?
Okay.
That is my first follow-up message always. So if I send a message, whether it's coaching or challenging, if I don't hear back from them, my next message is always, hey, just checking in to see if you received my last message. Hope you're having a good day. Because it makes people feel obligated to answer.
Okay.
Even if they were ignoring you. Because I'm like, girl, I'll send that 12 times.
Also, I posted this, I think probably a couple months back, but there's like this weird other inbox in your messenger. And I went back and checked, and I literally had messages from a year ago, and I just never saw them. So I would also just check to see if they've seen them. Like sometimes if you have Facebook Messenger, you can see. But I swear, like Jessica and I both went back, and we had like people reaching out to us to join a challenge group a year ago that we just never even saw. So I think even like the voice memo, I know Laura says you struggle with that because once you hit record, it's like there's no going back. You record and whatever comes out is sending. But I don't know if that gets to them better. I feel like it has a better probability of a voice memo getting to them. So I would try to do that. And if you haven't checked that other inbox, go check it because it's weird.
It is weird. I was like, how did this happen?
I've also been doing this random thing recently for new coaches that, well, they're not new coaches yet, but I just think they'd be so good. And Rochelle, like you said, I've contacted this girl 5 times. It was my 6th time about coaching because she kept on tagging me and stuff all day long, but she would not respond to anything. And my last message to get her on the phone was, Elizabeth, you'd be a phenomenal coach. That is it. And that's all I said. And she responded to that. And it wasn't like some lengthy paragraph. And then she was like, thank you. And I was like, are you free tonight to talk? And she was like, yes. I mean, she still didn't sign up as a coach, but I got her on the phone. I got her on the phone and it's planting the seed. And I just am starting to do these like short little brief, like, you're on my mind. You'd be amazing. That's it. And somehow maybe that will help, but it's worked.
Okay, thank y'all.
Yeah, short is sometimes sweet, or sending a message when it's like kind of catches them off guard, they pay attention to it. So just try different things. Any other questions? Good stuff.
Well, I did want to share about the voice message thing because I was really excited about it. And then this girl, I sent it, and then I messaged her like, hey, just checking in message. And she's like, what are you even talking about? So I don't know. It showed that it went through, but somehow it didn't go through on her end. So just know, like you said, you can follow up and say, did you get my message? Because somehow she didn't get one. And I thought it was a really good message, but whatever.
And you can never go back and redo it.
Well, I learned that you can cancel the message.
How?
So you're holding it down and it's like doing the record. You have 1 minute. If you like swipe off of the red circle, it'll cancel it. It's like you're pressing down and then you're like, oh crap, I messed up what I was saying. And then you just keep holding and then swipe out.
Okay, I might have to practice messaging you, Lisa.
I'm okay with that. I learned this a couple of days ago, but I like doing the voice message, and I also like going onto people's Facebook and just commenting on stuff if I want them to respond. Passive aggressive,
I do like passive aggressive. Slide on there. I see you.
Well, I have a girl who comments on like everything, and not comments, likes everything that I do. She does It Works.